Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. What's good, what's good, what's good? So we got a lot of stuff going on. We got big baggers dropping pearls everywhere. I don't know if you've noticed, but you have Rick Ritchie, 8Paws, Hutanic that just, even Captain Banana. You just have a lot of big baggers that pop on and drop tons of pearls. And I hope you guys are paying attention. Being a big bagger is a very big deal. So not only are they taking these ideas and sharing them amongst themselves, but when it's important enough and it rises to an effect for the whole community, they're also raising it there. So I just wanted to call that out so that you guys understand how that's working. And big baggers, no, I was not kidding. Maybe we do have to have more big bagger meetings, or we need to facilitate something else that goes on beyond just notifications and stuff like that. You're absolutely right, Rick Ritchie. But there's a lot of news going on today. It's insane. I want you to go research what the American Bankers Association is saying about the big BM of a bill. And the reason why I bring that up is because, there are certain things that they like about the bill. And it's all about the banks. It's all about their investors, right? They're high net worth, individuals that bank with them. A lot of the things that they're talking about don't actually trickle all the way down to the regular person level. So I want you to think about, and it's the American Bankers Association. So I want you to think about who's top of their list. It's not me. Just saying, the average investor, the average person that doesn't invest because they don't know that they can, all kinds of stuff, but they're not thinking about us. The things that they like about the big BM of a bill are the fact that you could like the big BM of a bill is a problem. Ray Dalio, one of the smartest people on the planet, is like, listen, how are you going to pass a bill that literally is a bill? It's a $3.8 trillion bill, right? And you have no way of paying for it, and you're just adding to the debt. So how does that work in your head? It's a bill that's jam-packed with things that benefit specific parties. And if it's so great of a bill, why did Lisa Murkowski have to fight so hard and negotiate so hard to get Alaska an exemption from certain aspects of that bill? And that's going to make a lot of people in the United States think, well, how come our senator didn't fight for us like that? I'd rather tell you something about that bill. Then we have tariffs coming back, rearing its ugly head again, right? And they're saying that Europe might actually accept, the 10% across the board tariff rate. I think I need to understand if that's already in existence. Tariffs have been used, country to country for forever. But is it actually just setting a number and that's it? Or is it just looking at the numbers that we already have out there and leveling them all off at 10? Is it an additional 10 or just leveling everybody off at 10? There's just a lot that goes into that. And it's fuzzy on the rest of us because that's the way they want it. And you have to do a lot of research on that. So do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Yes, it is a very big deal, and it has to be done. There's no getting around doing your own research. No way around it. You want to learn, that's what you're going to have to do. It is what it is, right? Then you've got the DOJ cracking down on other great news. The DOJ cracking down found 3 individuals, including 2 North Koreans. Why? Because they were operating a shell crypto startup company, actually many shell crypto startup companies that were using all kinds of backdoors to launder money. That's right. And then here's one that I found actually interesting. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi securing memoranda from Cyprus and what was the other one? Croatia. Now, Cyprus to me is a very big deal. Why? Because who is a Cyprus a go-between for? Russia. a lot of Russian money escaped to Cyprus, and so that's who you're going to make deals with. Just saying, just pointing out the obvious. And mind you, India is already in bed with Russia with BRICS. So yeah, they're definitely looking for it's, and it's supposed to be a technological get together, all that good stuff. If the United States continues to snore on India, it's going to be a big mistake. It's going to be a huge mistake. Just saying. India's making huge moves to be the mecca of getting things done. So where China handles manufacturing, India's going to handle hands-on technology. That's what they're aiming for. And a lot of it is already true, right? Look at the companies that are out there and look at how many people they have, within the United States that are doing technology versus the number of people that they have over in India doing technology. It'll blow your mind. It will blow your mind. No joke. So then you've got Hut 8 along with Eric Trump. Hut 8 and the American Bitcoin Corporation. Yeah, that's the name. Securing about $220 million in investment. Right? It's Hut 8 securing that money with American Bitcoin Corp. They're taking that money and building a new company, and it will be led by American Bitcoin Corp, or ABC. I kid you not. We caught wind of this story weeks ago. We brought it to you, and now it seems to be a bit more official. Just saying. In the gaming space, Ubisoft will integrate AI agents into its upcoming Captain Laserhawk game on the Netflix platform, allowing players to vote on in-game governance proposals via blockchain-based token mechanics. For those out there that thought that gaming was not going to make a comeback, right there. You want to know where I first heard about this idea and first learned about the importance of AI within, a Web3 or blockchain gaming system? Cardano. They ran an experiment, and the NPCs, non-player characters, started to build out their own ecosystems, their own governments, voting, all that good stuff. Yeah. I told you there's going to be a certain amount of dynamics that are going to be brought to the gaming space because of how AI is implemented, or as AI is implemented. That's going to be huge. And I don't know why people are kind of sleeping on gaming, but gaming is going to be huge. I mean, is it going to be as big as RWA or real world assets, tokenization? No. That's untouchable. That's got a ridiculous amount of money. Just listen to Chamath Palmapatia. I'm brutalizing his name, and I greatly apologize. You guys know I don't like doing that. But that guy says that there are trillions of dollars sitting out there that need a home, and they're going to invest, and they're trying to figure out where they're going to put all that money. So it goes back to something that we reported last week with Jim Cramer, right? Jim Cramer was talking about how Bitcoin is going to go to $1 trillion. No, but is there going to be $1 trillion, trillions of dollars rather, going into crypto? And what he's thinking is, well, listen, if trillions of dollars come into the market, valuations, market caps, all that good stuff, you do the math. There's a path. There's a mathematical path that you could see where it could get there. I'm going to say it like this. I can't really, as much as I joke about it, you look at that situation, you kind of say, well, nobody thought that Bitcoin was going to hit $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, $1 million. You know how many? Ask people if they think that Bitcoin is going to hit $1 million, and I think everybody's going to say, yeah, it'll hit $1 million. It's a matter of when, not if, but it'll hit $1 million. And you see that? You see how that works? Can it do this? Can it do this? Can it do this? Can it do this? And everyone's like, nah, 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 nah. And all of a sudden it happens. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at. There's also a proposed class action lawsuit against Citibank that alleges that it ignored warning signs and facilitated a $20 million pig butchering scam. It's a romance scam. And that's going to have a problem. And it led to suspicious transfers for over 30,000 victims, 30,453 victims. That's a problem. I'm laughing about it, but I'm not laughing about it. There can be signs. I look at things like this. Within a bank, they have to do a ton of backflips and things like that to get things done. And, just a normal course of business. And I look at this and I kind of say, with technology the way it is, there are a lot of ways that you could do checks and balances. You can actually be reviewing, and they have systems that do this, that review transactions to see if there are trends. 30,453 victims. And I have to ask you, well, how many transactions happened? I mean, it'll all come out in the court case if that actually happens, but how many transactions happened versus the number of transactions in that same time period? What percentage of transactions was that? And then what are the other transactions? Because those can't be the only ones. They were just able to identify those as being affected by this particular scam. But what other transactions might have had the same kind of footprint, the same kind of fingerprint in how they move, how they interact, and all that other good stuff? Yeah, that's something to contemplate. It really is something to contemplate. And there's gonna be a big deal. It's gonna be a big deal. I'm getting toward a story. I just happen to look down at my notes. I'm looking toward a story that it's not going to be a good. And his name is Chamath Palihapitiya. Chamath Palihapitiya. Right, and I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, if you can do a trend analysis on your transactions, how was that missed? And I'm just wondering, 30,453 people scammed. That's not going to bode well. That's not going to bode well at all. Right? And I'm still sitting back and I'm thinking about the ramifications of the big BM of a bill, tariffs, the lack of ETFs. I'm thinking about what else bad can happen. Oh, we still have a real estate bubble that can happen. We still have an insurance bubble that can happen. I keep trying to remind everybody, go watch Too Big to Fail. Go watch Too Big to Fail. If you look at that situation, you dissect that situation, are we not in that same situation now? Yeah. It's not lost on me. I hope it's not lost on you. So yeah, I just wonder about what those impacts are going to be as I look toward my portfolio and say, how am I going to manage my money today? How am I going to manage my value today? It's not small. It's not small at all. Australia's SwiftX acquired crypto entrepreneur Caleb Brown's company in a record ANZ deal. I think it was like $10 billion or something like that. I forgot the exact number, but it actually is a big deal. SwiftX buying Caleb Brown's company. SwiftX. I'm going to have to do some more research on that. But the deal is to expand its platform to over 2 million customers under FCA equivalent regulations. A lot of these companies are looking for expansion. Centralized exchanges, they're looking for expansion. And they're looking to expand not just their reach, but they're also looking to expand their services, their products and services. Keep saying, the exchanges are the new banks. That's why it's easier for an exchange to get into banking than it is for banking to become an exchange. And I think banks are finding that out right now. It's not easy at all integrating your systems to work with crypto. It's not easy. I know because my company did it. We're not in banking, but to even accept crypto online as a part of an e-commerce platform, it's not easy. But we did it. And it took time and real thought. Just saying, it's a very big deal. It's a very, very, very big deal. Can you get it done? Of course. You can obviously get it done. But it's a very big deal to be able to do that. So the latest thing that I've heard in the Trump-Musk fight is that Trump is threatening Elon Muskrat with going after Elon with his own Doge team or Doge department. And I'm sitting back and I'm like, who's left? Is Doge still a thing? Is Doge still a thing? Do you remember when all of this started, there were 2 people that were going to head up Doge and one left before it even got started? He's like, oh, nope, I don't want to touch that. It's like, I'm out. Did you see that happen? You remember that? Yeah. And now when Elon left, I mean, have you heard anything about Doge? Are they doing anything except diving into more data that they don't need to have? Are you contemplating how much data is being handed over to Palantir? That's how it's really pronounced. You start to think about, well, wow, what are they doing with all this data? Data on average citizens. What are you doing? Everybody thought it was going to be Doge and Elon. They're giving it all to Palantir. That's Palantir. That's how it's pronounced. I'd be very worried. I am very worried. I am very much worried. And I think that there are a lot of people on the planet that should be thinking, I might be wealthy, but I could be in that database. I better make some phone calls. Uh-huh. You have a lot of people thinking about it like that. Some scary stuff. Scary stuff. Anyway, you know what we should do? That's right. We should get into the numbers. So let's scoot on over. Get my notes out of the way. And start with the open market. Open market is looking like Dow futures is going to be down about 40. S&P is going to be down about 13.75. NASDAQ futures look to be down about 63.5. Oil is up 0.36. And the U.S. 10-year seems to be down a hair at 0.031. Kind of sideways to me. What's the big deal today? Well, the big deal today is what Rick Ritchie was bringing up last night. Well, Fed Chair Powell is going to speak today. I'm not really worried about what Fed Chair Powell is going to say about, the past. I'm looking toward the future, and I'm kind of like, is he going to talk about anything that's going to affect the interest rates? I have to tell you, I'm more interested about anything that he mentions that I think either leads toward the big BM of a bill or tariffs. Those are the kind of comments I'm looking for. I'm actually not contemplating anything about the interest rate cuts, right? I think they're going to be 2 later this year. I can almost guarantee it. So I'm not worried about that. That's not what's on my mind. What's on my mind is is he going to share any thoughts or insights about the big BM of a bill or tariffs? That's what I'll be thinking about. I also wonder, was it Hutanik that brought it up? I think it was Hutanik that brought it up. If the new regime walks away from Basel III, if Powell will have a comment about that. Whoa. Yeah, it's a bigger deal than you think. Go look up Basel III and what it's meant to do. Fear and greed index is hovering at 64. It's down a little bit. It's been herring down, just saying, just little bit by little bit. Total value lock today is at 120. If you notice, it's just been hovering around that 118 to 121 mark. And I'm just thinking, yeah, this is This is the sign of uncertainty. It's a sign of uncertainty and chaos. I would definitely say chaos. Looking at where Bitcoin is specifically, you can see it at 107,436, but you can see how we're bouncing in between this band, 102,771 to 109,337. We've been moving like that. Just I had it set up in the middle so everybody could see, but you can see we've been moving around this area for a while. So you see the stair step from here to here to here. And then we went up a bit, hit a new high, but then we've just been moving sideways ever since. Think about when we hit that new high back in May. Sideways ever since. Look at that. Uncertainty. People have no idea about what's going on. Uncertainty. Just saying, pay attention to these things. It's no joke. All right. Then when I'm looking across the big board, XRP is still under $2.30, $2.50 really. Link is still in the 13 area. Aave's down. Sui's down. Listen, to me right now, this is big pocket overload. Take a look at Bitcoin Cash. It's deeper green than everybody else. I keep telling people, don't sleep on Bitcoin Cash. Don't sleep on BNB, ETH, BTC, Solana if you're into that kind of thing. Sui, Avalanche, Link, Aave, SHIB, Pepe, Hype if you're into it. I haven't done enough research on Hype. HBAR is another one. Ton is another one. Sui, I already said. Litecoin, Cardano, duh. There are a lot of coins. There are a lot of things out here that can tell you, hey, I have potential. We can be doing things. Looking at it across the board, you can see that, it's the distance between Bitcoin and Ethereum is still over 40 points. That to me just says there's an opportunity to buy. I could buy Ethereum and Bitcoin and be totally happy. Cardano is another one that I'm deep into. It's down here, by the way. I'm deep into Cardano. Why? The potential of the platform. That's why. Cardano, you can do a lot with Cardano right now, and it's almost as if nobody knows it, nobody realizes it. But when people do find out and they do start using it, I think that's when the floodgates will open. Cardano team, work on your marketing, please. XRP is another one I'm paying attention to. Look at that year-to-date number. It's not all that great, but I believe it's going to get better. Hyperliquid, Bitcoin Cash. Hyperliquid had a higher one, obviously. From this point, you could have made big money. I'm telling you, do your own research. I tell you guys, pay attention to how coins are moving and what are moving those specific coins. Get used to their rhythm, and that will tell you how to work with a specific coin. Just saying. Looking at the trackers, see who's moving on the big numbers. So on the downside, we've got Arbitrum down 8.9%. Got a GMB X factor of 6.32. Some people I hear talking about Psi. I have nothing to do with Psi. Haven't done any a lick of research on it. It's down 7.83% with a GMB X factor of 3.03. Is anybody else paying attention? Virtuals Protocol down 5.49% with a GMBX factor of 2.47. Optimism is down 5.47 with a GMBX factor of 7.81. You definitely have a couple of memes that are down a bit, but who cares? And then you're past my 5% rule. That once I get past that rule, I don't care about that. Let's take a look at the winners let's just make sure I have it sorted correctly. Bitcoin Cash is up 6.35% with a GMBX factor of 6.28. Yes, I think that 6.28 is absolutely going to happen. This Sun token thing, I'm not touching that. I have no idea what the heck that is. These numbers are ridiculous. You can go look into that if you want to, but that shall not be this guy. Pungy Penguins is up 4.8. I shouldn't even talk about it because it's below the 5% rule, but I just kind of like the name Pudgy Penguins. It's got a GMBX factor of 3.79, and everybody else is just moving sideways. Everybody else is just moving sideways or lower, right? The market is uncertain as to what's going to come for major reasons. The big BM of a bill, tariffs. People are starting to think about what's going on with insurance. They're starting to think about what's going on with real estate. And these are things that are going on around the world. Around the world. Greetings, Turtle Bitcoin. So there's a lot that happens. A lot that happens. Which means that there's a lot for us to pay attention to and be aware of. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, smash the likes. Like Rick Ritchie says, it's the bottom one all the way over to the right. Looks like a little heart. Smash that. Tell your friends about this community. We've got a lot going on, and we've been growing a lot lately. Over the past week, we've gone from about 11,000 subscribers to over 14,000 subscribers. So we are growing quickly. Quickly. And that's just on YouTube. And we've got more coming for you. Rick Ritchie knows it. That's why he keeps busting my chops. We've got more coming. And yes, this is the first this coming weekend is the first weekend of the month. The second weekend of the month, you know that we have our big baggers meeting. So we'll be scheduling that. And if you want to be a big bagger and you want to learn about the things that they're discussing all the time, all these backdoor conversations that are going on, and you want to be in on them, go and become a big bagger. Go to growmybag.tv/sign-up. Become a big bagger because we've got more coming. A lot more coming. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for growmybag.tv. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And absolutely, thank you for your trust. I will fight for that every day. You'll see me later on today at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Crypto Overflow. Everybody, have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.